about the unmodified life, which I like to call the GMO-free life. So before we get started, I want to give you a little bit of information about me. So I'm 18 years old, and I was born on May 5th. It was like a rainy Tuesday, like 1988, nothing special. Born in Nashua, New Hampshire, at St. Joseph's Hospital. I work at Chipotle. It's probably the best job on the planet. I have a couple coworkers in here who can support that. I'm also a Starbucks addict. I've probably gone to Starbucks every single day for the past 3 years, and I think it's safe to say I've spent at least $3,000. So no shame though. So next year I'm off to SNU. I'm going to get a degree in marketing, maybe business administration. We'll figure it out. It's something business related. I know that. And that's my senior picture. Look nice and good. Pointer doesn't work. All right. So what was my project? As I said, I went GMO free, and Chipotle helped me out a lot. Little did I know when I applied to that fast food restaurant, that company would change me forever. And I'll touch on that in just a second. But without them, I really wouldn't be able to present in front of you today sharing this information. So my essential question was, what do GMOs do to the human body, and what does it take to consume food without them? And some sub-EQs to go along with that were, what are GMOs? How can one find GMO-free food? And why do most foods contain GMOs? So elaborate on those in just a second. So prepare to be GMO experts, guys. You're going to learn what they are, how you can be GMO for yourself, why they're so common. I'm going to tell you my story, and it was a struggle, more foreshadowing. And then we're going to watch a movie, so get excited. And thank you, Kat. She did not want me to put this slide on here, but I had to for Ruberg. She's the best outside expert on the planet, and she's also the best boss on the planet. She is a GMO expert, and the amount of knowledge that she has on GMOs is absolutely insane. She shared so much information with me. She coached me through all the ups and downs when I was struggling with the diet and like struggling with all the knowledge, all of that stuff. And without her, I would not be here. She shared the truth with me, and she helped refer me to local places where I can buy GMO-free food and actually maintain like this diet lifestyle. And she also tortured me with munchkins when I was working, which are not GMO-free, fun fact. So GMOs, I've said them a lot. You're probably wondering like, what's the actual definition? So I got that right here for you. So a GMO is created by inserting genes from one species, so typically a bacteria or a virus, something you already don't want inside you, into the DNA of another. So this results in a plant with characteristics that wouldn't occur naturally. And you can put this into animals as well. But essentially you're putting like unhealthy things and you're putting it into a living like substance, whether it's a plant, human, whatever it is, and you're mutating it. And you're eating that after. So not exactly the best thing. There are a lot of unknowns to GMOs. They were introduced into the food market, and little to no research was done about them. I like to compare them to cigarettes, tobacco, and trans fats. When those were introduced and like people were using them and thought nothing of it. Like smoking, no big deal. Like a couple years later, here we are now. CVS stops selling them. Bad stuff. Trans fats are also the same story. Mother Nature is not happy with GMOs either. So essentially what's happening is that we're injecting like these GMOs into plants, and we're ruining our soil and making it completely less fertile and harming our planet by doing so. Illness has also spiked since GMOs have been introduced into the market. Mental illness has gone up, depression, schizophrenia, heart disease, other things, cancer has spiked since they've been introduced to foods. Honestly, none of this stuff is good at all. Yet we consume this food every single day. They are everywhere you look. I can guarantee you if you were to go home and you were like to check if there were any GMOs in your food, like 90% of your like food supply has GMOs in it. And a lot of people are trying to cover them up. There's a big company called Monsanto. Starbucks actually supports them, so touch on that and how that affected me in a minute. But they're being covered up, and people are trying to say they're good for you. They're giving you more bang for your buck when you buy meats or produce, whatever it may be. It's really not the case. And animals are treated with no rights whatsoever. If you eat food, a lot of people just don't think like, where did this come from? Like, what's the history behind this animal that I'm eating? It's probably a sad, sad life, and you're gonna feel slightly guilty for eating that food. I'm not trying to make anyone feel bad about themselves, but it's the truth. And a lot of people use it because it's cheaper, but if you're getting something that's completely unhealthy for you, do you really want to spend less money for it? That's how I do it. So where can you find the food? That's me shopping at Whole Foods right there in Nashua. Good times. Local markets have them. Hannaford's, Market Basket, they all have like little sections dedicated to just GMO or organic. GMO is also organic food, and it's easy to find if you just look for it. There's small business stores around. A Market actually referred me to there, and you can buy like completely healthy. That A Market is completely GMO free. So it's easy to find stuff. It really just like puts some effort into it. And I did mention there's a lot of foods that contain GMOs at your house, but also there's probably a small amount of food that is GMO free. I'm a pasta like person most of the time, so if I don't know what to eat, pasta it is. My mom will support that. So I actually scanned the pasta to see if it had GMOs, and it's actually Barilla pasta is GMO free, so it worked out for me. And so is Hunt sauce. And there is one kind of fast food that you can find that is GMO free, and that is Chipotle right there. So quantity over quality and why GMOs are used so much. The big thing is that they make more food. You inject GMOs into an animal or plant, and the normal size is say yay big, but you're making it twice as big. So you spend $10 for a small amount, or you can spend $10 for a big amount. Obviously you want more bang for your buck, but it's not healthy for you. They're put into plants that way they can keep away bugs and other things, that way they last longer. The shelf life is extended, and people just buy food that isn't GMO free because it's financially easier for them. And a lot of people don't even realize what they're eating. I'm pretty sure the majority of people walked into this room and didn't even know what a GMO was. And that's a meal right there. My mom made that for me, like she did with the rest of the food on this project. And just chicken cutlets, rice, mac and cheese, plain and simple, but pretty awesome. So what I went through personally, and let me tell you, March 1st, the day I started this diet, I died a little bit inside. It was a big adjustment. I spent months and months of research on like what GMOs were, where I can find GMO-free food, etc. And I thought I was going to hit the ground running. Not the case at all. It started, and I realized I had no GMO-free food in my house. I was going to go to Starbucks March 1st, and I realized, wait, they support Monsanto. That's probably not a good thing. And so I had to go without coffee. I had to cut off things that I was eating every day, and it was a big effect on me. I did eventually learn to power through. I tried a lot of new foods, and I bought a lot of food, or I should say my mom bought a lot of food. But I really did widen my horizons. I was never a big seafood person before this project, but I tried a couple things that were seafood. It was actually not too shabby. So I'm willing to try more things, and I'm not as much of a picky eater. So that helped me out a lot. And I did have to cut off things that I loved. Starbucks, I mentioned that a couple times. I'm an addict to, oops, don't do that. I'm an addict to the point where I take pictures of my coffee and put it on my Snapchat story for everyone to see because it's that good. But, yeah, so needless to say, it's a little hard for me dropping that off. But GMO-free food really does taste better, and a lot of people think like, oh hey, that's organic, it's healthy for you, who wants to touch that? But in reality, the quality of the food is extremely noticeable, and it really does show. This is a huge financial commitment though, and I have to like make that clear. I love this project and everything that it helped me out with, but I did spend a lot of money, or again, my mom spent a lot of money. So it really is worth it in the end though, if you can financially do it. My best friend on this journey was an app called Fujicate. It helped me find what foods were okay to eat by simply just scanning the barcode. You just download it on the App Store or Android Store, and it'll tell you whether or not a food has GMOs and all other like special stuff. So it gave me a lot of insightful information, and it also made me realize that GMO-free food, because like typically that's healthier for you, but it doesn't mean it's completely healthy. So I'll touch upon that right now. So I have two products that I scanned right here. On the left, I have a can of SpaghettiOs. So like right there, GMO, high probability. I can't guarantee if there's GMOs in it, but obviously it tells you what the risks are. So these things are in SpaghettiOs that have, or typically have GMOs. Alfalfa, canola, cotton. There's cotton in your SpaghettiOs. How does that make you feel? Not that great. And on the right here, I got a drink from the cafeteria. It was like an iced cherry limeade thing. Pretty good. And it is GMO free, so I could drink it, but it has artificial sweeteners in it, artificial colors, and highly processed stuff that you really don't want to be taking in, but could be worse, I guess you could say, but still not exactly recommended. So I learned a lot from this app too, and helped me out a bunch. So food, and more food. I ate a lot on this journey, obviously. So I figured I'd just touch upon a couple of my favorites and not so much favorites. So Amy's mac and cheese was like the biggest discovery that I made when I went on this diet, and it's probably the best thing on the planet, honestly. It tastes so good. Like the flavor in it is like absolutely amazing. The only like complaint I had about it though was like the can was literally like that big, so I finished it in 5 bites. Kind of a sad situation once it ended, but I stoked up another one, so all good. Whole Foods stuffed shells were something that I also bought, and those, they make Italians proud, basically. I should just say that. Really good. I would eat those all the time, and that Whole Foods like does not waste your money, like you get a ton. So that lasted me like a solid week, but I eat a lot, so like 2 days for me. Kind bars were probably my favorite snack on this journey. I ate them all the time, like lunch, whenever I was hungry, just a quick thing, and they taste pretty good, but kind of expensive. And I did find that Whole Foods coffee is GMO free, because whatever Whole Foods makes at their store is guaranteed to be GMO free. Pretty solid. And it wasn't exactly Starbucks quality, but it did the trick, so I had to settle for something. Chipotle, obviously, ate that a lot. I have to eat it a lot, but love that place so much. And now I will touch upon the millet bait. Not my favorite thing on the planet. It even sounds kind of gross, honestly. Millet is like a type of grain, I believe. I didn't do too much research into it because the second I took a bite out of it, trash and you go. So I wouldn't really recommend it if you're like considering trying it. Don't. Simple as that. And I made like 4 big shopping trips just in the month of March. And I bought like, I'd say 20 items each roughly, and just in that I spent $415. So when I say it's a financial commitment, I really do mean it. But it really is worth it in the end, and I can't stress it enough. So now it's movie time. So we'll hit play for you. This video was produced by Chipotle, and it essentially goes through what animals go through, the things that people do not realize when they're eating food, and it touches upon everything basically I've mentioned before. So feel free to sit back, relax, and enjoy.
There's nothing to it. Look around and view it. Anything you want to do it. Want to change the world. There's nothing
good video. It touches upon a lot of things, and I could elaborate on that thing for days. But it really opens your eyes up to a lot of things that we just don't even think about when we're eating food. Animals are treated so poorly. We're destroying our world, cities, and industrial things. Like, the amount of stuff that this explains and really like brings to your eyes is, I love this video. I can't stress it enough. It's one reason why I love Chipotle and why they helped me out with this project. But a lot of people really should think, like, where is your food coming from? So now everything is being left into your hands. I've taught you what GMOs are, like spliced things that completely from bacteria, viruses being put into your food. You don't want that. How you can get GMO-free food? Stop by any markets in Manchester, pretty local. It's like 15 minutes away. Whole Foods is opening up, and they're trying to go GMO-free. So why not shop there? And you know what they do too. You can get cancer. Obviously, a lot of people don't think it'll happen to you, but your chances are so much higher if you're eating food that's like this. You become depressed, have heart disease. That's something you don't want to go through. So cut the risks as much as you can. So I want everyone to think, how are you going to eat after this presentation? I want to give a big thanks to Ms. Croft. If I did not have you as my senior project mentor, I probably, this would be half done, maybe a quarter done. She really like pushed me to do my best, and I cut things pretty close, but you're a good teacher. I'm gonna miss you. Kat Hayes, boss, outside expert. She's chilling right there. Feel free to wave, Kat, or don't. That's okay. I love you. Best boss ever. My mom, Gina. You're all right. And Bedford High School for making me the student that I am today, and actually being able to present in front of a lot of you. So my takeaway piece, probably like a reason a lot of you are here, is I have 25 burritos. I got 12 chicken, 6 steak, 1 carnitas now, 2 barbacoa, and 1 sofritas, and I got 12 chips and salsa. And there's guac, medium salsa, or sour cream. Never tried sour cream, but apparently it's good with chips, so feel free to try that. And finally, I just want you to say thank you.